Hello and welcome to this video tutorial for Creo Parametric version 3. The content of this video is detailed drawings. Previously in Creo, you've learnt about extrusions and revolves for creating various features in Boundy, but now we're going to look at producing detailed drawings within Creo. Once we have a part open in the workspace, we can click File, New, and then instead of choosing New Part, we'll choose New Drawing. We'll then give this a name, press OK. We're now presented with several options for using drawing templates. We'll start by choosing Empty, so we're not going to use an existing format or drawing template. We'll choose Landscape and a paper size of A4. We'll then press OK, and the drawing window now opens. So the layout is slightly different to the modeling window. We're presented with our A4 paper size with this black borderline. On the left hand side, we can see the work tree of our initial model that we've imported. There's also another work tree of our drawing that will become more populated as we insert more views. In terms of the menu, we can insert general views and projection views. There's other options to include tables, annotations, which is useful for dimensioning our part, and then we can also do sketching on the fly. But we'll start by creating a new general view. So we'll click General View, click OK, and now we have to choose the starting location of our first view. So we'll choose the left-hand corner here. Left mouse click. We can now change our view orientation. So we could select the front view, for example. We can apply that to see that view. Now the current view is the grayscale shading, which is not suitable for an AS1100 drawing. So we can change that in the view display option, display style, and we can go wireframe no hidden. So we won't be seeing any hidden lines. Click OK, apply, OK. Now this view is cluttered by existing datum planes and coordinate system axes. So we'll turn that off in the view options. We'll select all, and they've now been removed. Now that we're happy with our first view, we can insert some projection views by right-clicking, projection view, and we can hover the mouse over where we would like to locate that. So top, right, left, or bottom. So we'll click top, and then we can insert another one on the right-hand side. Once again, our two new views are shaded in grayscale. So we can control select those, right-click, properties, and change the display style to no hidden lines. We can apply that. Okay. So in our drawing tree, the parent view is the first view we made, and we have two child views based on that. So if we were to change the location of our first view, the child views were followed. So we can grab this handle, relocate our view to a more appropriate location, and then we can move the child views out from that. We can then adjust the scale. So if we double click on the scale, this isn't an engineering scale, so we'll change that. Press OK. Our drawing scaled, and we can make further modifications on the layout. Now that we're happy with the location of our initial views, we can show some model annotations. So in the Annotate tab, we can press Show Model Annotations, and we're prompted to select a view to apply these annotations to. We can select this front view. These are our center lines. We can then move across to our dimensions on the left tab. We can select all, apply. So Creo has automatically populated as many dimensions as it can fit on. This is not helpful. We can tidy that up later. So we can now locate dimensions on other views. For example, this hole diameter. This isn't a very useful view for indicating that. So we can select our dimension, right click, and we can choose Move to View. So we can move it to this top view. And that's a much more useful view for indicating that hole. We can then drag that, click and drag that dimension out, so it's outside our object. We can further modify dimensions on the fly. For example, it would be redundant to dimension this hole twice. So we can click our dimension. Under Properties, we can change tolerances, nominal values, decimal places, etc. So if we go to Display, we can edit the output by showing a 2x multiplier, pressing OK, and that now indicates that both these holes have a diameter of 22 mil. We can now also manually add dimensions that Creo may not have automatically populated. So using the Dimension tool, we can select that. We can select one entity, that would bring a dimension off in that direction. Or if we hold Control and select a second entity, it will dimension the distance between the two. And we can middle click to complete that. Middle click. We can also delete dimensions altogether. So if there's a dimension we no longer require, we can click it, right click, and we can delete that dimension. So that's a useful way of tidying up extra dimensions that Creo might provide that we may not actually need. So this view is still looking very messy with a lot of overlapping dimensions. We can continue to tidy this up by deleting useless or repeated dimensions. We can then manually click and drag dimensions away from that object, noting that we're nesting smaller dimensions inside large dimensions. So that wraps up this quick tutorial. At this point, I would suggest opening an existing part from previous weeks, practice converting that into a drawing, selecting the appropriate views, adding dimensions, and arranging those dimensions so they're appropriate for AS1100.